When I was 14 years old, my old man took off. Boom. Babe was a capo. He comes up to me, he goes, "Kid," he says, "we know about your old man taking off. Now, you need to make a living for your family. I'm gonna get you a work permit and you're gonna work in my bowling alley. I'm gonna show you how to set up the pins," which they did in the old days. "And you're gonna pump gas in my gas station." That's taking care of the neighborhood. I didn't have to do any debt collecting, break nobody's bones, no burglaries, no robberies, no killings. I worked in their legitimate business. And that's how I was actually raised by the mob. They took care of the neighborhood. Now, you see a lot of things where, in some of the movies where they take care of the neighbors and so on and so forth. That's an old mob rule that comes out of Sicily. When somebody wants to become a maid guy and wants to get into the family, they have the meeting. If they're going to accept them, and they do, they're automatically given a title. That title is called soldier. Once they attain the title, they are mandated and they were required to take care of the neighborhood. Whatever you need, a job, medical, they're supposed to take care of it. That's why when the mob came here back in the 60s, and everybody's trying to get territory in the casinos, all right? Every neighborhood, whatever section of the neighborhood that they lived, which is around the town, they were required to make sure their neighborhood was safe. Anybody did anything, they were taken out to the desert, the graves were pre-dug, they whacked them, poured lye over the body, paid Metro, boom, boom, boom. The mob controlled Metro, all right? And the reason for that was when these police officers retired, they all got jobs in the casino as security. So, and they were paid 3 times more than what they were making as a police officer. So they were tight together, they worked together. And that's how Vegas was being run in the old days. When I was about 17, he says, "It's time for us to have a talk." He says, "You're getting around that age now, okay? I'm going to talk about life's experience." He says, "You heed every word I tell you." He says, "Don't you ever tell anybody what you plan to do or what you're going to do. Don't let anybody know what's in your head, what you're thinking. And by God, don't ever use a name because that will get you killed. And most important, don't ever mess with another guy's wife, girlfriend, mistress, family. You're dead." And I went to work at the El Cortez, which was mob control, big time. It wasn't always a strip. Downtown here, there was a lot of them, okay? And they're all coming in now from all different families because this place is starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
For this part of the video, we wanted to do a sort of time-lapse showing you some of the coolest parts of the Flamingo, including Bugsy Siegel's monument and the pool where you can supposedly see him and his wife.
That's right. Although we weren't lucky enough to see their apparitions, hundreds of guests have reported seeing an apparition of him and his wife standing by and walking around the pool. The Flamingo Hotel and Casino was built in 1946 and is known as the first luxury hotel on the Strip. Although he's a well-known mobster, his reasoning for building the casino in the middle of the desert isn't. At the time, gambling in California, where Bugsy lived, was recently outlawed, directing him towards Nevada, as gambling was still legal.
Meanwhile, gambling was and still is legalized in Nevada. This is what caused Bugsy Siegel to envision the Flamingo Hotel here. It was a perfect opportunity for the Mafia in Bugsy's eyes.
Actually, a fun fact about the Flamingo is that some say Siegel named the casino after his girlfriend, as she loved to gamble and was nicknamed Flamingo.
However, Bugsy's vision would soon be the cause of his death.
I went to Caesars 1966 when it opened. All the families had a piece of it, and Mr. Z, Jerry Zarowitz from the Genovese family, controlled Caesars. He did time for the big boss, kept his mouth shut. When he got out, they gave him Caesar's Palace to run, and I'm with him. So I recall one day he tells me, Frank, go to Sands and get Sinatra. Frank Sinatra. I said, say that again. He said, I want you to go to Sands and get Frank Sinatra and bring him over here. Bring him and his wife. Come on over here. He's with us now. So there was an incident over there, and now he's here. So I went over there to see Frank Sinatra. Knocked on the door, the big suite. He answered it. I said, Mr. Sinatra, I'm here to get you and your wife's belongings. He says, come on in. And he says, what's your name? I said, Frank. Well, he liked that right away.
We got the chance to visit the Mob Museum, and we learned about some of the most famous mobsters of all time, including Bugsy Siegel, Meyer Lansky, and even Al Capone.
Despite this being a brief overview of the city's history, we were able to learn so much in a short amount of time.